All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Pokemon. I've got some Metazoo updates for you guys today. I got a letter, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did as well, from Metazoo's lawyer. So this is a bankruptcy letter. I'm going to read it to you guys in a minute here. So a lot of you got one of these letters. I saw in the past couple days a ton of you guys tagging me on Instagram or sending it to me via DMs. A ton of you guys got this letter, and the reason that you got it, if you are owed any money from Metazoo, specifically if you had a pre-order with Metazoo that was unfulfilled or outstanding, if you're one of the thousands of people on that creditor list on the Metazoo bankruptcy case, you should have gotten one of these. So a lot of you guys, if you haven't gotten one already, will probably get one of these, because I know there's a ton of people that had outstanding pre-orders. Myself, I believe the number was about $600 in outstanding pre-orders, but it shouldn't matter what how much it was. If it was $10 or $1,000, you should still get one of these. So if you haven't got one and you had a pre-order, you should be expecting one of these. Now, what does this mean? Honestly, really not a whole lot. This is kind of their legal obligation to say, yes, we notified these people that are owed money. This is what they can do. Metazoo's going through bankruptcy. And I'd gotten one of these before. I worked for a company called Brookstone. It was like a store in the mall that sold massage chairs and things like that. And after I stopped working there, they went bankrupt, and I got basically a very similar, almost exact same letter as this one when they went into bankruptcy, just because I was a former employee. I don't even think they owed me money, but it's like it's just crossing their T's and dotting their I's. I think it's actually a mandate that legally they have to send this to you to say, yes, they were notified that Metazoo's in bankruptcy, and if they didn't try to claim, and I think that's kind of the difference between a secured and unsecured claim, is I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to get this and not do anything about it and not try to claim, $10-20, whatever it is. Those are the unsecured claims, which is a lot of the debt that they have. And I want to talk about this because the 29th is coming up, and on the 29th, they're going to be taking the 5 highest offers to buy Metazoo, making them public so that people can bid against each other. And this makes sense because of the fact that all they really told us was that the offer had to be at least $100,000. So I would assume that most people that made an offer right at $100,000. So it's only when they see what the other offers are that they're probably going to up that offer, because why would you offer more than the minimum without knowing what anybody else is bidding? So this is just kind of an opportunity to bid against each other, and that'll be on the 29th. So that'll be interesting, yes, but I think it started a lot of Metazoo FOMO. And the reason that I say that is I've had some really interesting Metazoo auctions on eBay lately. I think the FOMO is kicking back in. People see this date of the 29th. I think there's going to be a new owner of Metazoo, and that Metazoo is going to have a resurgence, and they want to get in before that. I think that's why there's so much activity here recently. And I've noticed like a significant uptick in the ending price of some of my listings of like standard staple Metazoo cards in a PSA 10, like the Wendigo PSA 10 from Nightfall. I just had one end today at $150-something. And typically this is a card that goes for $25-30 in a 10. Another example is last week I had a PSA 10 Cryptid Nation First Edition Mothman go for like $170. And this is a card that had dropped way down. And I think at one point I was selling them they were ending for like $65-70 for a PSA 10. And there's just countless other examples that I've seen. And they're not shill bidders. These are all the ones that I've seen. They're actually different buyers. And like I said, there's more examples than just those two. But there's they're ending at these weird prices, and they're paying. They're different buyers. They've got good feedback. They've got high feedback, and they're paying, which is weird. But I think it's the FOMO kicking in, which is something that really is what kickstarted Metazoo, was this FOMO thing, all the pre-orders selling out immediately, people taking their receipt from their pre-order and just listing that on eBay because people were so hungry to get the latest Metazoo drop. And I think that's kicking back in because people have it in the back of their minds that Metazoo is going to be sold, and then these prices are going to go back up if there's a new owner that does things right, and there's going to be this Metazoo resurgence. I would just want to caution people, as much as I'm enjoying these increased sales prices, I want to caution people not to buy in too much to the FOMO. Realistically, what I think is going to happen, the 29th probably won't be the end of it. I don't know how long they're going to give like a window to up the bid and bid against each other. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's probably not going to end on the 29th. But once that's over, once they have a highest bidder, they got to submit that to the courts. So this process of accepting bids is all being done through the trustee. This is not the court saying, okay, whoever is the highest offer, done, sold, Metazoo is yours. The trustee is doing this, and then they have to present that offer to the judge, to the court, and the court could easily just say, no, that's not good enough, and say, we're going to auction off all the inventory through the court, and maybe we'll get more money that way. Like, if these offers are low, and I think they very well could be, if they're saying they just want $100,000, hypothetically, theoretically, there's much more than $100,000 in inventory just from what we had seen in previous statements about what the inventory might be. You know, just what was sent over that Mike showed us, that was sent over from Andy to Shaw. Just that would be a lot more than $100,000. So if we were seeing offers to buy the company prior to bankruptcy that were like $250,000, and now the company is in bankruptcy, I think there's probably a good chance that we're not going to see $250,000. It's probably going to be less than that, the offers to buy Metazoo in this bidding situation. So that being said, if it is a low offer, let's say between $100,000 and $250,000, let's say they present that to the court, the judge knows, you know, they've got millions of dollars of debt, a ton of debt, and $100,000 to $250,000, and this is just an arbitrary number. Maybe, you know, again, we have no idea. For all I know, there could be $1 million offer. There could be, you know, $500,000. There could be a $5 million offer, but chances are there's probably not. If they're telling us the minimum is $100,000, I would imagine most offers right now are pretty much right at that minimum, and maybe the bidding does go crazy, whatever. I just have a feeling it's going to be, like I said, let's say between $100,000 and $250,000. Let's just use that as an example, compared to the millions of dollars of accrued debt that is in this bankruptcy proceeding. The judge could easily just say, this offer is way too low. No, we're going to auction stuff off, sell all the inventory, and then we'll sell the IP for whatever it goes for. I could totally see that happening in this whole process of maybe, or at least a speculation of maybe there will be a new owner by the end of July. I wouldn't buy into that if I were you. I'd be careful of that if I were you. It's kind of cool to see that the Metazoo market, the secondary market, is rebounding, and there's like there's some sales that are going kind of crazy right now in the secondary market. It's kind of cool to see that there's some life back in Metazoo. But I would just caution you guys that yes, on the 29th, there will be this bidding, but I don't think it's going to be like the landmark earth-shattering change on the 29th that we want to see in Metazoo. I don't think there will be a new owner on the 29th. I think this process will continue for months of trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen. And I'm sure, like I said, they got to present this offer to the court. I'm sure that's going to take some time. I guess the court could come back and say, no, that's high enough, and maybe make a counter offer to whoever the highest bidder is and say that doesn't work. Maybe they do a court-ordered auction of all the inventory and try to recoup money that way, because they could easily say, maybe we'll get more money and be able to pay more people back from selling off inventory than from this $100,000 offer or from this $200,000 offer. Because keep in mind, we know that in addition to your offer, they have to pay the roughly $60,000 lien to even get whatever inventory is at Golden. So right off the bat, you're at $160,000. We know there was offers of $250,000 when the company was not even in bankruptcy. So you're already pretty close to that number just right off the bat, having to pay that lien and then having to buy the company. Yeah, so I really don't see a super high offer coming in. And like I said, I have no idea what the other offers are. None of us do. So there could be a crazy high offer, but I think chances are there's not. So I just wanted to caution you guys. I am seeing like some crazy sales. Prices are going way up on, like I said, some of those staple cards, like a PSA 10 Wendigo, a PSA 10 Mothman, even some PSA 9 Nightfall Mothman that I had sold. I was surprised by the prices that those were going for. But let's read this letter. Let's get to the point of this video. All right. I'm going to scan this and put up a version for you guys to read along with. So I actually thought this was kind of funny because if you look at the bottom, this is one of the services that I use to show you guys the stuff that I show you. Pacer, where you can look up the court documents and stuff. And the dude, whatever lawyer sent out this email, his Pacer login username is at the bottom, and it's Golfman53, which I thought was funny that they included that in this letter. But essentially, basically what this is just a brief notice of case filing. It says, notice of bankruptcy case filing. A bankruptcy case concerning the debtor listed below was filed under Chapter 7 of the United States Bankruptcy Code, entered on 5/20/24 at 6:50 p.m. and filed on 5/20/2024. Metazoo Games, LLC. The case was filed by the debtor's attorney, the trustee. So the attorney is Warren Graham. The trustee is Albert Togut. The case was assigned case number 24-10874 JPM to Judge John P. Mustando III. In most instances, the filing of the bankruptcy case automatically says certain collection and other actions against the debtor and the debtor's property. Under certain circumstances, the stay may be limited to 30 days or not exist at all, although the debtor can request the court extend or impose a stay. If you attempt to collect a debt or take other action in violation of the bankruptcy code, you may be penalized. Consult a lawyer to determine your rights in this case. If you would like to view the bankruptcy petition and other documents filed by the debtor, they are available at our internet homepage. Then they show the uscourts.gov website or the clerk's office, 1 Bowling Green, New York, New York. You may be a creditor of the debtor. If so, you will receive an additional notice from the court setting forth important deadlines. So, like I said, this is really just kind of pretty standard. Anybody that is owed any money should be getting one of these, and it looks like you're also going to be getting a follow-up. So this is really just something they have to do. Like I said, I worked at a company that went bankrupt. They didn't even owe me any money, and I still got one of these bankruptcy filing notifications. So really nothing new. This is kind of just the same stuff that I've been showing you guys. Got kind of early access to it on the court portal. But yeah, I'm interested to see what else we get as far as the deadlines, and maybe some kind of instruction on how to file a claim will probably be the follow-up here. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you got one of these letters and what amount of money you are owed and what for. I'm very curious because I got a ton of messages this weekend. A lot of you guys got one of these. So apparently there's a lot of people that follow the channel that are owed money. No wonder people are so and were so upset at Metazoo. There's a lot of people that actually legitimately were owed pre-orders, legitimately were owed money, because I saw, maybe hundreds. Literally maybe hundreds of you guys sent me a picture of this. So let me know in the comments below if you got one of these and you're owed money by Metazoo and how much you're owed. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Nick Strength and Pokemon, signing out.